Hello, it's podcast time with Lex McKee. This one's called Stretch, Sprint, Pause. Okay, it's not exactly Eat, Pray, Love, but it might work just as well. Following on from last week's blog on how to get more energy, I'd now like to explore a rhythm to our day that could make a huge difference to how energised we feel. Let's start with your body clock. Your body clock can become a good friend, especially when our daily activities are synchronised with our body clock and not vice versa. Life needs to tune into your body clock, not the other way around. The rhythms of life include ultradian rhythms, and I will generalise by saying we seem to biologically embrace 90-minute cycles. This is an especially accurate assertion when drawn from sleep research, but it also appears to be valid in a healthy waking state. If you are happy to accept that, I have a cunning plan to suggest. Let's begin by learning from the guitar. I know that many of us are musicians and some are guitarists. One of the most delightful sounds we can generate on a guitar is a harmonic, like this. When the string is vibrating, a subtle touch in just the right place creates a clear, chiming tone. I'm going to suggest we do the same with the 90-minute cycle to create harmonic harmony throughout our daily life by touching the 90-minute cycle at the halfway point to create 45-minute periods in our activity. Now, doesn't that sound like school? Perhaps school knows a thing or two about managing energy. Think about it for a moment. 45-minute bursts of mental energy as we learn new content in each lesson, then a physical break, out to play, triggered by a bell. Hey, this could work for adults too. So let's talk about Club 45. This approach is so successful in my day-long workshops that we now call it Club 45. A timer goes off every 45 minutes to allow for what we call a fluid adjustment break, a FAB break, FAB. Many participants have given feedback that this micro break cycle has helped them stay energised and engaged all day long. Then there's the Pomodoro technique. A quick aside, if you've heard of the Pomodoro technique, this is the use of a kitchen timer fashioned in the form of a tomato from which it gets its name, to manage small bursts or sprints of work. So we're going to call them sprints. Each sprint is usually 25 minutes for this time management approach. Almost another harmonic if you think about it. 90 minutes, 45 minutes. Half of 45 is 22.5 minutes. We can learn a lot from muscle development. Muscles benefit from gentle stretching, followed by a sprint of activity that takes them outside their comfort zone, followed by restorative, if I can say the word, rest. That's right. Oh, lovely. It now appears that this too works for developing emotional, mental and spiritual energy. You stretch a bit, you sprint, and then you restore. My suggestion is that we get a timer. Then we play stretch, sprint, pause. Now I have to let you into a little secret here. I love teddy bears. It's called an arctophile, a professional teddy bear collector. But if you are an arctophile, you'll understand that your teddy bear chooses you, not the other way around. You go into a teddy bear shop, and the teddy bear goes, "Choose me, choose me." Well, I've used the same thing with kitchen timers, so this is your mission, should you choose to accept it. Pop off to somewhere posh, like John Lewis. Find the clockwork timer section, winds them all up, and walk away. At the right time, the timer that's chosen you first will ring out, and you'll get express checkout because a very handsome security lady or security man will come and say, "Oi, what are you up to?" And they'll escort you and your new chosen timer that's chosen you to the express checkout and chuck you out of John Lewis. How cool is that? Then home or in the office with your timer, set your timer to 23 minutes if you want to try the Pomodoro technique, embracing our 45-90 pattern as well. Or 45 minutes if you can cope with that longer period without losing focus, you superstar. Let's explore now what to do in the pause. The change that I'm now making, or adding really, to my Club 45 approach, is to focus on what I'm going to do in the pause. I'm now focusing on developing each energy in turn, and those 4 energies were physical energy, mental energy, emotional energy, and spiritual energy. For example, I may go for a brisk walk around the field, which is good physical energy. At the next break, I may ring my mum or another family member or a friend, which is emotional energy, and it's something that I don't do often enough. We need to reconnect with those we love. Then I might try a memory technique or play a mind-stimulating game like chess. You can do it against the computer, can't you? Or Sudoku or Go, which would be that mental energizer restoration in the pause. Finally, crosswords, of course, fantastic. Read inspirational literature, the spiritual development. I'm a born-again Christian theologian. Obviously, I'm going to dig into the deep, rich vein of inspirational material that's in the scriptures. I love Proverbs. Proverbs got 31 chapters, so you can match the chapter of Proverbs to the date. Makes it really easy. You may come from a different spiritual background, but you know what inspires you. So for each of these breaks, I'd recommend an element of physical exercise in addition to whether it's mental, emotional, or spiritual. When we change our physical position, we change and transform our mental position too. You can't stay in the same mindset if you shift your posture. This is a bit similar to clearing a computer cache or even pressing reset, or if you're daring, reboot. Changing posture changes state. Now, we have a good new ritual, a habit that will make us highly energized. Stretch or some other kind of warm-up in preparation. Sprint in a way that will take you just outside your current comfort zone, and pause to recover. Let me mention Brain Gym. In the workshops, we've experimented somewhat hilariously with Brain Gym exercises for the breaks. These are exercises that deliberately trigger both sides of your brain when it comes to the motor cortex. So you do one thing with one side of your body and something else with the other. You might have done that at school where you patted your head and then rubbed your tummy in a circle. Once you've mastered it, you feel really cool, but while you're trying to learn it, it's a bit of a challenge outside your comfort zone. So those are really good exercises to re-energize, to reboot, to refresh your mind. Now you might say to me, Lexi baby, this is too structured for me. If you think this is too rigid, trust me, I'm a chaotic creative. Not a nice, neat, tidy creative. I create chaos, and it works for me. I don't do rigid. I do, however, let the timer do the work for me. If it goes off every 45 minutes, I've got that reminder, that bell to go, come on mate, it's time for a brain break, a fluid adjustment break. It tickles my memory, and it tickles me too, to encourage good new habits. Will you join me in this energetic experiment? What will you do in the breaks when you press pause? Let us know so that we can enjoy becoming stronger and more energized together. That's it. Expert Key signing out from this podcast. I really appreciate your engagement with these podcasts. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being a good friend. Cheers.